You're listening to the Muddling Through podcast.
So, we're on. Thanks for being here, Melissa.
Well, sure.
You're the third Hanley to be on the podcast. The first girl, which is that's something. And yeah, I guess the Hanleys are beating the Shaws in terms of being on the podcast, even if you count me. So there are a couple. So how are you?
Doing okay.
Doing all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So nervous.
First time on a podcast is always, it can be unsettling, I've been lucky enough to, have guested on William Hermanet's sort of side of podcasts, off and on. Started that, I don't even remember when, a year ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, it'll be fine. So how's work going?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm just serving right now, so nothing too exciting, but it is good.
How'd you get into that?
I started, let's see, I started doing last year because I never got into it before because I was like, I don't need to do that. I have other things. I have other ways to make money. I don't need to do that now. And then I've been poor forever.
Yep.
And my friend offered to put in a good word for the place that he was working. So I came up on it and I started doing it, and then I suddenly realized that wow, I've been such an idiot this whole time. Could have been doing really well.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. No, if you're good at it, tips at least.
For sure. And I was not good at it last year. I was basically just telling my kids. All the managers on me basically getting up after the whole shit. I felt really bad for them. But it was good because I got another job right now. But I'm doing okay. And I'm now regarded as someone that can do their job well. So.
One of the veterans.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
A little bit more than they did before. So.
And what were you doing before that? You were working in a hospital?
So I was medical scribing for 3 years. 2 years at Concord Hospital, so the emergency room there.
Yeah.
Which for sure was exciting, but exhausting. And then I did a year at Dartmouth Hitchcock in Manchester. And that was good. I liked doing that, but it was primary care, so it was a little bit more boring, a little bit worse hours as far as I had to get up at 6 every day, and I do not do well doing that.
Not a fan of that.
No, not a fan of 6 a.m. So yeah, I liked the relationship that I was able to cultivate with the provider I was working with there better, because I was with one provider instead of all of the ER providers. But it was getting to be too much and wasn't really meshing with the rest of my life anymore. So.
Right, and you kind of need to have a pretty flexible schedule for your theater performances and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I stopped doing that basically right before Matilda this summer, and it was the best decision that I could have made because I needed all the extra time that I could for Matilda.
Yeah, it's interesting how you both have the flexibility of time and you make more money. It's just yeah, exactly. Why was I?
Right. Seriously, what a snob! What was I doing?
Can't believe it took me this long.
Hi, Melissa. Make better decisions. Me to me every day.
Yeah. What made you decide? I mean, you've been dancing for forever.
Yep.
How long exactly? When did you first get into it?
I believe that my first trip on stage was when I was, if the story that I'm told is correct, I was 1.5.
Okay.
And I had been coming to the dance studio every week with my mom, as 1.5-year-olds do, because Chris was in dance class.
Okay.
And so they had a recital dance plan that they were all dressed up as roosters, and they had this big dance. They were the barnyard chickens, right? And So they had all of the younger siblings dress up as little baby chicks and go on stage and run across the stage, and then all the 4-year-olds came out.
Okay.
But that's not what I wanted to do. I ran across the stage and then I came right back out with the 4-year-olds and did the dance with them because I've been watching and had learned it.
No, that's
and basically, you just like haven't been able to get me off stage.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually kind of fell into the major dance. Yeah, because I danced my whole life. And then I took a gap year after high school. I went to New York a couple of times, tried to audition for stuff, didn't book anything. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to college. Went in undeclared to UNH, and at that time wanted to go pre-med. So I was doing all my gen ed and kind of looking at getting into the pre-med program, and then kind of the more that I took miscellaneous classes and all the dance classes, realized that I just wanted to spend my time doing that instead. And so I kind of just fell into the dance major, and I didn't plan on doing it.
Yeah.
But I did, and I'm glad I did. It was what I wanted to do, and it was a lot of fun.
Right.
I can't say that it's worth a whole lot now. But it is a degree.
It is a degree.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed getting it, and then yeah, that's pretty much it.
So did you? That must have been an interesting conversation.
It kind of was. I mean, she's always supported my performing and dancing and everything that I want to do. But she really liked I wanted to go to medicine, and I think the way that I presented it to her was, I want to do this now. I can always go back to school later, if I decide to go back to school. I mean, how many people go back to school in their 30s and get their master's, whatever?
Sure.
Because it's not easy, but theoretically speaking, it's easy enough to go back and go to PA school for 2 years,
It's doable.
Yeah, exactly. And then the funny thing about that was then after I graduated, I got this medical writing job, and so I worked alongside all the different providers for a couple of years and realized that I don't want to go into medicine anymore. There's nothing like doing it to realize you don't want to do it.
Sure.
Surprisingly, no. Like, you don't need a degree. There were a lot of people that were still in college that were doing the job. Yeah, it was pretty much, if you can type 65 words a minute and you can conduct yourself in a professional manner, they were like, great, you want to work here, we'll hire you. The turnover was actually kind of crazy. Like, people would start and just hate it and quit, so they would pretty much have a point where they would take anyone that could.
Yeah, basically kind of like, so the standards for the military, they're basically that qualifies. So like physically, obviously, you need to be able to do the work, but I guess they did, over the course of the time that the U.S. military has been a thing, they've been doing all this like IQ testing, just like what is like the bare minimum that we need to like get people into the armed forces. And this is nothing against our armed troops, full of respect. But they figured out, like, if you have an IQ of below, I think it's like 85, like, you cannot be trained to do anything that isn't counterproductive. So, like, and apparently that's like 10% of the population. So it's like, it tends to paint kind of a better picture of that. Anyway, so what was the turnover? Is it because it's stressful, or is it okay?
Yeah, I think yes. Because it's the way you present once you get hired, you have to go through a set of classes, and they call it mini med school.
Okay.
So you go you don't have to really learn all of it, but you have to touch on a lot of stuff and a lot of diseases, testing, symptoms, and outcomes, things like that. Like a lot of basically everything that you're going to see as you go. So you're familiar with it when it happens. They obviously don't expect you to know all of it and be able to come out with it, but to see it and recognize it.
So, like, if you see something, you have to be able to differentiate one thing that looks a certain way from another thing that might be similar, but you need to know what the difference is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's that essentially just understanding what goes where in a chart and things like that. So, but yeah, so it was a lot of the stress because the ER is a high stress environment, and the providers are stressed, and so you're dealing with the work, the patients that you're seeing, the providers and their responses to the work and the patients, and then you're also just having to you're having to keep up, and I mean it was a normal thing to get out an hour late. I never planned to get out any earlier than an hour. And some days it was great and I got out on time, and other days I stayed 3 hours late, so it was like, it was a lot. I liked it. But.
Would you call it like a stress feedback loop almost?
Yeah.
Where like people come into the, situation stressed, and the people that are there already are stressed, and then that compounds, and then the people that are just like people like you are kind of like next to it is just like
you kind of
this whole thing.
Take it in, yeah, kind of. It wasn't that bad. It was just that,
some people couldn't handle it.
You could tell, and and it was too much for some people, and the pain was great. So it was like, why is it worth doing that?
Yeah, you kind of have to want to be doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, and one of it's sold as it's good experience. So most people do it because they want to go to nursing. So that's good. It's definitely a good learning experience. I'm glad I did it. I'm also glad I did it.
Right. So what's on the horizon for you, dance-wise?
So let's see. I am teaching this fall for a month, and then fingers crossed, knock on wood, I am returning to LA. So hopefully, come October, I will be making the transition to be on the other side of the country. And once I get there, I will just be auditioning and try to perform and take classes. So,
what's the plan?
Gosh, like broad or like
broad, narrow. I mean, what's the immediate plan, and then like what's like do you know people out there at all, or are you just kind of like jumping in blind?
A little bit.
Okay.
So, I know a couple of people that are out there. I don't really have any good friends that are out there. But in my travels, I have met some people that are either from there or have moved out there. So I've had a couple of offers to couch surfing as I apartment hunt, which I'm very grateful for.
That is excellent.
But yeah, pretty much it's going to be making those people my friends, and then once I get out there, just making as many friends as I can, and kind of like getting a group, I guess. Yeah,
network as much as possible.
Yeah.
A couple of things occur to me in that vein. You could, there are a number of like entertainment, companies that are very kind of close to the ground. Like I guess you would say, something like Geek and Sundry comes to mind. That they do. For a while, they were hosting a D&D show that really kind of put their, well, I don't want to say put their name on the map, but it was a major contributor to their success. But they do like tabletop and like nerd culture stuff and like this whole thing. So it occurred to me that you might try to, because they have like a pretty significant Twitch following, and so if you kind of got into the community that follows their streams and like interacted with a bunch of people and kind of got your name out there more or less, you might be able to kind of leverage some of that. I don't know how viable that is as like a strategy.
I guess what that makes me think of on my end is like getting an agent and like going through some sort of talent agency. And having them put their name out there, which I think is sort of similar, not the same, but sort of similar.
A little different. It's more almost like kind of crowdsource your contact, I guess. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I am planning on trying to get an agent out there. Because there's a lot that they can do for you that you can't necessarily do for yourself, or it's a lot harder to do for yourself. Especially if you don't know exactly what you're doing.
Right, exactly. You
want someone who knows the business and can walk you through it.
Right, and it's so different, such a different environment there than here, because I'm well versed in the theater scene here. I've worked in really most of the theaters in the area. I know most of the people that direct, choreograph, act in them. Not most, but a lot, I guess I would say. So there's been a fair amount of networking, and they need someone, they know that they can call me, So there's a fair amount of jobs that I have gotten by basically just knowing people and knowing that I'm reliable.
Right.
So.
And just being like someone, being around enough that you come to mind.
Exactly.
Like when they're just kind of like trying to grab a name out of the hat.
And being local and having a place to live so they don't have to housing is pretty important.
Pretty solid. Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to Ben about, I was either talking to Ben or I was like browsing Instagram accounts. I went and saw West Side Story.
Oh, good.
And which was fantastic.
Yeah.
So when I do go see a show, it's I don't buy my ticket far enough in advance. So like the last time I went, actually not the last time, when I went and saw Cats, it was the day of. It was about 2 hours before. Ended up in the front row.
Oh my god!
Which was super awkward. Just like the cringiest experience in terms of theater that I think I've ever gone through. Right?
Oh
I mean, it's not cabaret, but it's up there. And no, so bought my ticket, and like I still got most of the show, but it ended up, it was like, so you have the half circle. I was like right up here, like right on one side, like all the way at the top. Ended up having a lovely conversation with a gal who was there to see Rita. Don't remember that. I'm not great with the names. West Side Story. Like the best friend who her boyfriend gets killed. The boyfriend who's the brother of the
brother. The brother gets killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so she was there to see her. But,
Anita.
Okay, that's the one. Yeah, Anita. Perfect. Context. Now I gotta go see the performance. And this is the final show. And we're just having this like heart to heart about, like relationships and like work and just it was really strange. And we never spoke to each other. Like we never saw each other.
Wow.
Yeah. It was super it wasn't bad. It was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing therapist from time to time. Mostly as like family work. But it was one of the more bizarre experiences of my life.
Seriously, how interesting! Something you didn't even know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was what I was going to say. I went browsing through like the Seacoast Rep hashtag or their whatever, but like you look at some of the actors, like the names you recognize, they're like from New York, from like all these different places, like they're shipping in to work in Portsmouth.
Right.
Like of all things, like why are you here? you not get work like out where you are?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, the Seacrest it's a pretty good place for people to work, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
So if they're coming from New York, a lot of the Seacoast area theaters will have auditions in New York and Boston, and people will go and work on the Seacoast for the summer because New York is not. There's not a lot going on in the summer, as I hear. Not that I've ever lived in New York in the summer, but I hear it's not wonderful. So they'd rather be in little New Hampshire. And we're happy to have them, of course.
Of course. The glamorous out of town.
Right. But yeah, then they have to have them. Makes a difference. But no, it's actually kind of funny because there are a few people that I know, or that I knew in college that they graduated, moved to New York, auditioned, booked something on Seacoast. And I'm like, you spend all that money to live in that expensive New York apartment.
Just cramped.
And you're working in New Hampshire. It's just funny. I mean, there are some benefits for sure because a lot of people will hire out of New York before they'll hire locally, like the Palace in Manchester. They'd rather have people from New York, which makes sense.
Sure. It's almost like a degree in a field that you're not like it's putting a bachelor's degree on your resume, even if the degree isn't necessarily connected to like the job you're going for. It's like, no, but I live in New York. It's like, all right, fair enough. That's a qualifier.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Ben was talking about how it's always the option to move to New York, but like you're still working on the Seacoast, so it's just cheaper to live here.
Right.
Might as well.
Yeah, for sure. And Ben and I have been doing fairly well, pretty consistent working here, so we're happy with that for now.
Yeah. What made you choose? Because I know for a while you were thinking about New York or LA. What made you decide on LA specifically?
So I have been to New York a lot of times. I've gone to a lot of different auditions there. I just really don't like New York.
Okay.
I tend to get very depressed as I'm there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the city or the people or the environment or just, I don't know. I don't know if I just need trees or ocean. I'm not really sure what it is that I'm missing there. But I just don't, I just really dislike it.
Yeah.
So I'll go for like a day or two for a trip, and that's fine. And if you're going for something specific, then I'll go for it. But like I have no desire to ever live in New York. But a lot of people do.
Like a lot of people do.
So many people live there, and a lot of people, that's what they aspire to. They want to live there. That's, that's good for them, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I like LA. I should say the idea of LA because it's more spread out. It's right by the ocean. It's warm all year round, except when they say it's cold and it gets to like 60, and you're like, that's a summer night.
Yeah. It's like hot as hell most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, it gets a little nippy.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's funny. I follow a bunch of Instagram accounts, people out of California, Hollywood, and all that, and they always have these posts where they're like, "Oh, I have to bust out the coat tonight," and they have these big like puffy jackets with these furs, and they're like, "It got to 60 degrees," and I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's not even enough for me to put on my jean jacket." What are you doing?
That's t-shirt weather. What are you talking about? Man, get me a nice coffee. What is this?
Nice coffee weather. Well, what are you kidding? That's every weather. That's
good. You're friggin', minus 20 and people are still getting their ice coffee sometimes. Yeah.
It's a vibe.
It's a lifestyle.
Incredible. Seriously, though.
Yeah, no. LA's interesting to me because, like, I've never been. Well, I don't travel much. Let's be honest. haven't traveled much since I was a wee lad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's almost a mythical place.
Mm-hmm.
LA. You know, New York, like a little bit, but it's more like people go to live their lives in New York, but and you know, dreamers go to New York too, but it's more industrial. I feel like it's more business oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Like it obviously has, you know, a really significant art scene. Well, I'm assuming, I imagine, having never been. I mean, it's huge. Like Broadway's, like it's synonymous with theater. You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I don't. At least like it is like a fairy tale land.
Yeah,
If you haven't been there,
sure.
yeah. So I don't. Yeah. So
I'll let you know.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because the last time that I was in LA, I think I was 12 years old.
Okay.
10 or 12. And,
you weren't shopping for apartments at the time.
Not shopping for apartments. I know, hard to believe. But, so I have very limited experience in LA, and I'll be the first person to tell you that I have no idea what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just jumping in full speed, and
yeah.
if I hate it, I'm gonna move, you know? And that's the thing that is important for me to especially remember is that, I mean, I'm not trapped there. I'm going to where I go, and I'm gonna check it out, and if I like it, great. And if I don't like anything, and I hate it there, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Hawaii is just a short 6 hours away. Tell me a downside.
Right.
But yeah, so I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm gonna figure it out.
I mean, that's the move, isn't it? It's just to jump in and see what happens. You know, because like I said, worst case scenario, just leave.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's some balls actually. I have to admit. I mean, you know, it's been a long time coming for you, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of you actually
you.
for taking the jump.
Yeah. So it definitely it really has been a long time coming. I mean, I've been out of school for 3 years now, and so I'm like, well, what am I doing? What am I working towards? What are my goals? What do I actually want to accomplish? So I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I haven't done it. So I'm finally ready to put that in motion.
Yeah.
So.
Shoot, I had a question. I don't know what it was. Had to do with school. There's a certain way I wanted to phrase it, and it just completely, lost it.
That happens to me.
So, aside from, you know, the experience of dance, this is a good, all right, so here we go.
Okay.
I talked to, Ben and Chris, the other day, and one of the things we talked about was how homeschooling affected us growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go deep into it. We were trying to keep it light.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this is a good place to have this conversation. How do you feel, being homeschooled affected you in terms of like trying to make it either an education or just like in general?
Okay. I am really glad that I was homeschooled.
Okay.
So I'll start by saying that. As far as dancing, I think it gave me the extra time that I needed to go to dance. I was at dance classes 18, 20 plus hours a week, all through high school, and I saw a lot of my classmates who were going to school on top of that and just exhausted, and they would bring their homework, and they have to do the homework late and up to midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, finishing homework before having to get up at 6 the next morning to do it again, and it's just, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that a lot of dancers who, I mean, if you've ever seen, you know, like Maddie Ziegler and Kate McRae and all of those dancers who are young, but growing up in dance all the time, being groomed to be professional dancers, they're all homeschooled.
Yeah.
For that reason exactly, is to
like flexibility of schedule and working things around, and
to be able to train that intensely and still get the schooling in.
Right.
So granted, I wasn't in a full-time professional program,
sure,
but it still was a nice buffer, I guess. I don't know. It was a nice environment for me to have to facilitate that.
Yeah.
As far as the whole socialization, social anxiety stuff, it's just, you know, I'm sure Chris and Ben are like, oh yeah, well, I blame homeschooling for that. But I mean, sure, some of it. I mean, there's a lot of people that I meet even now that I don't relate to. You know, I just don't fit in with those kinds of people. You know, we're just very different.
Mm-hmm. Is there something specific that comes to mind?
I don't know. It's just a lot of people that I meet, and you know, people that I work with, people that I went to school with. They just have very different ideas about certain things. Nothing specific, but then I've always just kind of like been able to take a step back and be like, I have no idea why they're doing that or why they think that's cool. You know. Mm-hmm. Granted, I don't know that I would have been any different if I had gone to school.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because it's just kind of how I am. And I mean, when I was 6 or 7, and I was in brownies for the Girl Scouts, and I was there for maybe 1 year before I told my mom that I wanted to quit because I hated all the screaming girls. I couldn't deal with the screaming. They scream too much. I can't. I can't quit.
There's too much.
Yeah. I'm like, and I'm still like that. People screaming. I'm like, why are you screaming right now? But
yeah, I mean, say what you will about homeschoolers, they're generally well behaved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think, that's kind of the thing that everyone comes back to. Like, yeah, you know, they're probably pretty well educated. You know, it's still the parents doing it, so it, you know, can be kind of hit or miss depending on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Parents aren't necessarily qualified to teach, you know, like the more complicated subject.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you know, decent education and like pretty disciplined behavior patterns. Is kind of thing. Like, a lot of one of the comments you hear is like, is them interacting with adults, like normal people, like it's an adult to an adult conversation, even though one of them is 12, you know, because they're used to interacting with adults as just, you know, ordinary people. Like they don't have the conditioning from their peer group to view adults necessarily as other, as kind of authoritarian and, you know, talking down to them more or less. That wasn't my experience, but
yeah, no, it does make sense because I mean, at that point, the parents are dealing with, you have these children all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible for their behavior, so how do you want it to reflect you?
Right.
And you can't blame it on the school, and you can't ship them off to school every day, so you deal with it. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's really like what. How do you want your house to sound?
Basically,
know?
Yeah. You want, you know, just a ruckus the entire time. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you kind of have to, like, if you're a homeschool parent, that's up to you guys. Like, that's gotta take so much. Because, like, even instituting any sort of discipline in kids, even outside of that, like, must be such a challenge. Like, just to be consistent with, you know, now here's the expected parameters of like, here's how you're going to behave, and you know, you can't deviate from that. Like, we're not going to allow you to, you know, make a nuisance of yourself. But just being like the everyday grind of, you know, staying on top of, like, just watching your kids and making sure that, like, when they do something good, you know, you reward them. However, and then when they do something that, you know, isn't acceptable, like, you explain, like, and not lose, you know, your and just like scream at them. Yeah, no. That's kind of terrifies me.
Yeah.
Being a parent.
Yeah.
Not something I have to worry about anytime soon. Fingers crossed. But yeah, no, it's a trip now.
Yeah, seriously.
I know a couple of people, and known a few people who have had or are having kids recently. And they're like, yeah, I do not feel prepared.
Oh no, not even a little bit. Yeah, especially they're getting up there in age, and all people around our age are married and having kids. Like, what are you doing? How are you doing this?
We're all teenagers. What's going on? Like, we're still in high school, guys.
I literally feel like I'm still in my like I still feel like I'm
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like my back hurts, but I'm still awkward. Like, what the hell?
Truly. Oh my God. This weekend, walked out of my house. Man, that is killing me. I used to be able to take as many classes in that, but that is what the heck? Oh my God. Well, going back to your question, as far as how homeschooling is supposed to be at school, when it's UNH, I feel like it wasn't bad. Like the whole self-motivation thing that you have to learn as a kid, really helps you in college.
Yeah.
I didn't fail any classes. I made it. Survived my diploma. But I still got it. Okay.
It's still a degree.
I still put all the
it's a degree.
I still took all the Jedi's that I had to that everyone else did. And I got a moment.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah. So no. Open a coffee shop.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Well, didn't you and Ben have an idea for a coffee shop back in the day?
Yeah. Our whole family that kind of came up with it.
You just had the wrong audience.
Oh, for sure we did. It was not very religiously
respectful.
Yeah, respectful. Yeah.
It's bad blasphemy, if you will.
A little bit heretical. Some people did not receive it well, but I'm telling you, it would go places.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you guys were raised Catholic for a hot minute?
Yeah. Yeah, my grandparents, my mom, my dad, all Catholic. We went to church every Sunday. Every Sunday that we could. Until I think I was 14.
Wow.
And then after that, it kind of became a little bit more sporadic, and parents were working more, and we, had all our things and did so many activities.
Yeah, just all the extracurriculars.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, like I challenge you to find a busier family than ours. I don't know.
It doesn't exist.
I'm like always doing something.
Like anytime we would hang out, it's like, just like listening to you guys talk about your schedules, like exhausting. Just
I know. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I have an hour that Saturday. We could probably hang out. Oh, awful. You know what? That translated to adult life. I'm all the time. No, and that's why this summer, having that time where I quit my Spanish job, and then I had Matilda, and then after Matilda ended, I taught dance twice a week, and I was serving 4 nights a week, and I just had all this extra time that I could go to the beach and I could have friends, and just see outside. Like I'm tanner than I've been in years because I had so much time outside. It is just a joy.
It's literal joy, like
very
being in your body.
Yeah, I'm like, this is what having a life is like. I like it.
I'm kind of enjoying this. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's gonna be hard to get that up.
Honestly. Yeah. But
do you find it's hard to? I mean, you're always cycling through meeting new people, in terms of work. Well, work and dance work. So do you find it difficult to make friends and form your relationships as
weirder people make hard, fast friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're thrown together in this process pretty much every day, depending on the schedule or time that you have to set up your show. You have 2 to 4 weeks usually to do the show, and so you see these people almost every day for hours on end. It's kind of impossible not to form bonds with people like that.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's really nice because you make friends really easily.
Mm-hmm.
I've done shows where I'm still friends with those people.
Yeah.
I have one of my extremely good friends right now is I did a show with her and then in January or December. We did Mamma Mia in January. And we hang out all the time, and then we were in Matilda together as well. But yeah, so there's a couple people that I've met that I stay really good friends with. A couple people that I've done shows with that we still kind of talk every now and then, but we don't really hang out or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other people that I did a show once with that I haven't talked to since the show closed.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. I think it's an interesting balance between making really good friends and also kind of holding back a little bit because you're not that you may not have these people in your life
right
for a long time. But I think a lot of that is just me, and I have major trust issues. So that might just be my own personal thing. But I personally find it difficult to make and keep friendships.
Yeah. What is that about?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I had a couple friends that, it's just the whole, your friends they graduate, you all go in different directions, and you say you're going to stay in touch, and then you don't, and then you have really good friends for a long time, and then all of a sudden they don't want to be your friends anymore, and, something else better come along, and, so there were a couple things like that happened when I was a teenager, and, I don't know, I guess it just stuck with me.
Yeah.
And then, but I had some really, really good, really close friends in college. And then I had another friend that I met in college that we were really, really good friends. For all of senior year and all 3 years since graduation. And then she stopped talking to me this past winter. And, it sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really shitty. So yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna take that back, and, at what point do you just say, okay, that's what people are gonna do, and is it worth getting involved to be hurt like that? But of course, that's so jaded.
Yeah.
So,
that's pretty jaded.
I'm working past it. That's me. So I'm working past it, but yeah, there's a lot.
I've always had difficulty with the whole. I mean, the concept of friendship to me is strange. Like obviously that's fun, but like obviously. No, but like it's like okay, so you find this person that like you kind of vibe with, and you just like attach to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it like a mutual thing? Is it like something that you can just do to somebody?
I
like,
decided we're going to be friends.
and I know people like that.
Mm-hmm.
That are like they're I don't want to say clingy, but you get attached very quickly. It's like I could try to do that, but is it worth the effort? I'm not sure it is. And I don't know. Like I've always had difficulty with a weirdness about things. And I don't really know what it is. It could be something to do with just moving around a lot when I was a lot younger and just not being properly socialized to figure out like what does a good friend think, as it were. But I don't know. It's been weird.
Yeah.
It's been real weird.
No, I feel like we're in similar plans here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And I don't know. I don't know. Like, I've been thinking about it a lot recently. Mm-hmm. Like, who my friends are, like, which of my friends are the ones that, like, I want, like, to carry with me, like, going forward. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, if I were to, up and get married in, like, 3 years, uh-huh. Who would I want? Who would I want at the wedding? Mm-hmm. That's pretty straightforward. Like, those are your friends. And, like, friendly acquaintances that, like, are attached to you somehow. Mm-hmm. But, like, who do I want in my wedding party? Mm-hmm. Like, that's the real question. Like, who's your best man? Right. Who's your maid of honor? Like that's kind of the thing that, it doesn't keep me up at night, but it's one of those things where I'm like, really, I'm scrutinizing people. I'm like, yeah. Are you going to be, like, a good, like, are you someone who's healthy for me to be around? Mm-hmm. Like, are you the kind of person who's going to, like, encourage me to do better in my life? Like, do you have the kind of drive to like improve yourself and, like, encourage other people to improve themselves? Mm-hmm. And, like, sometimes, like, I don't see it, but it's one of those things where it's like, I have basically most of the same friends I've had since high school. Mm-hmm. Which, not having gone to college, there's not as many opportunities to, like, network. For sure. So it's basically your friends from high school, their friends from high school, and people you meet at work. Mm-hmm. And where I work now, there's a lot fewer people, and the turnover rate isn't as high, but you get a different kind of person. Mm-hmm. You get along with all my coworkers, but I think the place where I felt the most at home was probably Barnes and Noble. Yeah. Where, like, you just fair enough. No, like, where you just meet people and you're like these are just people that I can hang with. Right. Like, I worked at JCPenney too, and you meet people and have some pretty good, well, I'd say people that I enjoy seeing from time to time from there. But the people that you can really, or that I felt like I could really connect to, were mostly Barnes and Noble. I'm overselling it here because I don't feel like I connect to anybody really, but
I don't want to get carried away. Okay.
Let's not overstate things here.
Oh, I see what you're saying though. I think in that idea, I'm pretty lucky doing what I do because every new show is a new environment, mm-hmm. A bunch of new people, yeah. All with the same or similar ideals and goals, and we all love to do the same thing. And there's all this common ground.
Right.
So, there's differences in backgrounds and views, and other than that, we're all there because we like performing.
Yeah. It's almost as if, for instance, you go to work at a company that's dedicated to a single family. Like, well, we're all fans of the same thing, so mm-hmm. we're kind of we already have this, shorthand, this rapport. Yeah. Like, we're already friends almost. Like, we don't even have to really, like, it's just filling gaps at this mm-hmm. point. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, and with my serving job, I think that's a harder thing to come down with people. Yeah. Because, we're all there for the same work, but we're all there for different reasons. Yeah. Everyone has a completely different story. Sure. They do other stuff, and so it's a lot harder for me to kind of connect with them than right. It is a castmate.
And I imagine there's less. There's probably not, like, rules of downtime in the theater performance, but, like, I imagine there's less in a serving gig. Maybe.
I don't know. You could find downtime wherever you are, I think. Mm-hmm.
Depends on when you work.
Yeah, it really does. And, even if it's really busy and the restaurant's full and you're running around and you're still over at the computer putting in the orders and there's a person sitting there waiting to use the computer and someone else is sitting there, getting their drink. So you have all these people and you can have a conversation a couple words at a time,
Right. You just have to keep track.
Exactly.
I was talking about this with this person and this with the other person. Like, oh, no, I got the conversations mixed up. I'm going to have to start over.
Exactly. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people there, not to say that there's nobody that I'm friends with, but I hang out with people outside of work a lot less there than I do from theater.
Yeah. It's the thing that kind of, as much as I talk about making it hard, the thing that is weird to me about work and making friends at work is it's almost like it's not real life. You're just kind of you go to a place where you don't necessarily to, and you find some solace in the people that you're around. And sometimes they're the people that are least obnoxious. That's your bar sometimes for work friends. But you might not necessarily want to bring them out into the real world and actually spend time with them. And I want to go back to the theater thing for a second. Just one of the things that I miss about it was kind of the trial by fire camaraderie that you get. Less so for us in the homeschool theater guild because, you're, for rehearsals, you're kind of segmented, there's not a great opportunity for going out until, you get the performance time.
Yeah.
And then you're, crammed into this tiny space for, 3 days.
Yep.
With little to nothing to do except hang out. And that's where I feel most of the really solid aspects of friendship came out of, even if you weren't fit with people before, after the performances, you get kind of a high, just in a connection, that I haven't really, the only thing I can really compare it to is probably, post Black Friday, just cool down, or Christmas season, slow down. It's oh, made it through that.
Yeah.
So you have that to kind of bolster the relationship together. Yeah. Friendships are weird.
That's true.
I'm not sure I understand. I've lost it. I feel like I've lost it. And not ones that I intended to lose. There are some that you're all right, I probably don't need to know anymore. And you make a deliberate decision to do that. But there are a couple that just disappeared. And it's well, I thought we were cool.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a fair amount of memories that comes into play through that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that I'm pretty tight in colleges and just kind of fell out of contact or, moved different places.
Yeah.
Doing different stuff.
A lot of people travel for college.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of them that I have stayed in contact with, and a lot of them that, even though we don't talk very often, I could call them up and go see them, and we could hang out. It would be nothing changed, But I'm very bad at keeping up with people and sitting on my job. We're hey, how you doing? Just checking in, just wanted to say hi. I feel very uncomfortable doing that, and then most of the time I don't remember.
Sure. Being super busy.
That's I do too much. There's so many things, and I schedule everything out, and my brain doesn't have anything else. So I just assume that everyone has things that way.
Yeah.
And so that when I, see someone, I'm oh, hey, how's it going? And I'm oh, I think so. And you're
you haven't talked to me in a year and a half. Like, yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about you.
You're not wrong. Thanks for like your Instagram.
I followed you on Snapchat.
Right? Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny. Because the whole, like, who would you invite to your wedding thing? You know, like, I think about that. Even though, like, you just probably don't be a wedding thing. You know, it's one of those things you think about anyway.
Sure.
But
in theory, if I were to have a wedding,
who would come? But yeah, it's kind of funny because you're going through your list of friends and in your head, and you're like, oh, definitely down behind them. Like, it's a good fight. Like, hanging out with them, they're good people, and then they go and get married. Oh, you know. But no, it was kind of nice because I just went to a wedding. This past weekend, just went to a wedding. There we go.
Solid.
Words are hard.
We got you.
I got somebody on
And she was home.
This past weekend I went to a wedding. And who's a very good friend of mine, named Martha Bassett. We were super tight. Basically from the time through like 20 years. And basically when each of us left Martha Bassett, we kind of, you know, branched out and had our lives and done other things. But it was still like we see each other once in a while and we still talk once in a while. But still thought enough of me and like remembered that we were friends enough and invited me to his wedding and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So we forgot about that. But it's just kind of nice to like, okay, he does like you know, someone else does see me the way that I see them. Right. You know, like we were really good friends. You know? It's nice that it meant as much to him as it meant to me. So,
like you don't feel like you're deluding yourself.
Exactly.
Like entirely.
Right.
Yeah. That's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to bother this person. Like I want to make sure we're on the same page. But it's pretty hard to tell. And if you're bad at reading social cues like I am, it can be a real challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I always say the wrong thing, even if I try really, really hard not to. I always say the right thing.
I know these people. I know what they want, and I still say the opposite thing they don't want.
Exactly. Like, I have thought about this text for like 3 days. I've rewritten it 7 times. And they still hate me now.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
How do I get my
Really? But
speaking of relationships, how's the dating?
I was saying the wrong thing all the time. That's me. Oh my god. Basically, my dating scene is laughable.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Just like, I don't know, I'm such a snob that it's just like, there's always something wrong with them.
Yeah.
And if there's actually nothing wrong with them, they don't like me. Awkward.
She was on the other foot now, isn't it?
Honestly, I mean, it's just like, well, I like them as a person, but I don't like them like romantically, so like, how are we friends? And then you like, I put that out in like a, not like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And they take it that way. And then they hate you. And it's like, I love that.
It backfired.
Sorry.
Backfired horribly.
It's just innocent. It's like that. And like, it's okay, I'm okay with it, but like, keep trying. Or maybe somebody on the left coast too. Oh my god.
Just go trolling through, what is it? Is it Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland.
Yeah, so just kind of scour that place for likely nerds. And
yeah, there you go. I know, I'm thinking
At
about
least,
it,
at least.
like, muscle beats, it's like, hey.
What's up? Hey.
Oh my god.
No, I've been, I'm a dummy, and so I keep coming back to the dating apps, even though I've had, like,
Me
zero
too,
luck.
me
Just, like,
too.
the worst. Like, I think this last round, I've gotten, so I tried out Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge.
Mhm.
Hinge is horrifying.
I didn't like it.
Like, it's not good. Like, Hinge is where people go that cannot get anything done on the other two. Like, it is,
Oh my god,
it is,
funny.
it is horrifying. Like,
Oh my god.
I'm not going to dwell on it. Anyway, so I think I had one comment on Hinge out of, like, you know, I wasn't super active, but, like, you assume that if people think you're, you know, anything, they're going to reach out or whatever. I had one match on Bumble,
Oh my god.
and then I had one match on Tinder and one like. And this is over a period of, like, 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh my
And,
god.
like, what's happening? Like, what is up? Like, is it really that heinous? Like, my profile is that bad that, like, just nobody's interested? Like, what is this?
God.
Is it the wrong time of year? Like,
Yeah,
is there
seriously.
something wrong? Like, do I just have, like, really terrible pictures? I mean, they might
People
be.
are all cycled on the other ones.
I mean, I get that, you know, Tinder's there for attractive people to meet other attractive people. Jeez.
Oh my god.
Am I not attractive enough for dating apps?
It's okay because once you meet in person, okay, I start knowing with my personality.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's just like you.
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess you would want them to like you for you.
True. I don't know. I feel like they're so unfortunate because that's the scene right now.
Yeah.
You know, for people our age. And because everyone is either busy doing school, doing work, or hiding at home because we hate going outside.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, given all those different factors, like, the best option for you is the dating app.
Right. Like if you're too poor to afford like actual extracurriculars, you know,
right?
What are you gonna do?
Right.
You're not gonna go to bars.
That's the thing, is like, you really, like, the people that you meet at bars hang out at bars.
Yeah.
And is that, I mean, I guess for some people, maybe that's what they want. But
sure.
Like for most people, probably not.
I mean, I guess it depends on like what bar you're talking about. Like there are some bars where you go and you're like, I would be okay meeting someone here. You know? You
would be good at looking bar.
I mean, that's what I hear. I've looked in the window. I'm gonna go by myself. That'd be weird.
They have tons of books there.
That's fair.
See, I've gone a couple of times, but I never spent any time there because you're not a reader.
I mean,
and I don't like that idea of like hanging out in a bookstore. Doesn't it feel good?
See,
but like, it does to you.
I mean, like I like the idea of it, but I don't like. It just makes me anxious and unhappy.
Going by yourself?
Well, no, being in bookstores.
Really?
Which is a weird,
Why?
like, okay, so it's basically like, it's like you have, so here's the analogy. You have Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, and you're constantly adding things to all of your watch lists, but you don't have time for any of them. And so you end up watching nothing.
Okay.
So I don't if I go there and I'm going to look for something that I want, and then I'm going to start reading it and not finish it, or maybe buy it. And then what am I doing? Like it's like I don't know. It's like, you know, anytime I would go to Barnes & Noble when I wasn't working, anytime I would just browse the aisles, I'd be like, I can't do this.
Too much.
There's just there's so many books, and there are more books every day, and you don't know. Like you can look at the cover and be like, that's probably garbage. Like that's reliably like you can tell. But then there, like, for every one of those, there's like 5 books you're like, I'd consider reading that. Like I'd consider, going halfway through before I decided, to call it quits, if I even would. And it's so much. And when you add like a reading list to the watch list, it's like, I can't. Like, this is the worst. So like, I like the idea of Book and Bar, but more from the aspect of, like these are people who like to, like, not necessarily to go there, but they can go there to find other people who enjoy reading. So like that's the difference. But like a bar like Stone Church in Newmarket. Oh, I haven't been there. It's pretty cool. It's very sort of artsy vibe. Like it's not like it's a really nice building. Like it used to be a church, like as indicated by the name. All like kind of oak, surroundings, and the furniture is pretty cool, and they have like open mics and stuff. It's a very Newmarket kind of thing, which isn't really my scene. Like I don't have a artistic on my body. I'm just like a repressed wallflower kind of person. It's just like, wow, this is not, you can't. But then on the other side of that, you have Tokens in Dover. It's like, oh, it's an arcade bar. I don't want to hang out with those people.
Oh my god.
So it's entirely possible that I'm funnier than you are when it comes to that. Yeah. It's one of my more endearing qualities.
Yeah. No, I went to something fun. And I walked in, we walked through, I would go again and like maybe spend more than 2 minutes in there. I think that would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Before we go.
Sure.
But I haven't really felt the need yet.
Yeah. Like I think about it and I'm like, okay, people that like enjoy video games and like kind of a Chuck E. Cheese vibe, like thing going, but with booze. Oh, I'm in like a small, like an enclosed space. Yeah, maybe not.
It's like maybe, I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I haven't been inside. Can't say for sure, but that's just like the idea in my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't drink much before, but I drink like almost nothing now. Yeah. And so going to a bar is like, why would I do that? Right. Like I'm going to be the biggest at the bar who's drinking root beer. What the hell? Like I've done that. Like I've been there. But it's like, I don't know. Like I was talking to Ben, Chris, I get 2 drinks in. Like not even, mixed drinks, but like 2 beers. Ciders. Because like, I hate the taste of alcohol. But like get 2 ciders in, I'm like, alright, it's gonna be, 45 minutes before I'm gonna take a drive. Wow. Like I need some water and I need some bread. And like, yeah, that's where I'm at. So it's, bars not for me.
That's fair.
But like, it's bars or dating apps or, doing whatever. I don't know. Where do you meet people?
It's really hard. And I tried the whole, date someone for work thing. And that really turned out well either.
Yeah, I can't see that going well.
Oh, yeah. I keep trying it. It's just,
yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it almost has to be one of those things where like, everybody agrees that like, single people are invited to parties with other single people. I don't know. Like, you owe it to your single friends to introduce them to other people, just to see like what happens. Like not even necessarily like tell them about it, but like, oh, I'm just gonna have a party and like have a bunch of people over, but like make sure that they're single people of opposite genders or like, you know, whatever, just to like mix it up and see where it goes. Like, you know, or like the idea of a blind, like setting someone up on a blind date is super weird to me.
That's so weird, yeah.
But I almost want it. Like I'm almost desperate enough to like ask friends to be like, listen, if you know anybody, I'm really lonely.
Oh my god. Seriously, I feel like Tinder dating is a lot like a blind date.
Yeah.
Because I mean we've never met them before, like obviously, but a lot of times we put on old pictures. And
I know I have some old pictures on me.
Yeah, so a lot of people look really different currently. And so every time I'm walking in and I'm like talking like, yeah, please don't be old, and then you walk in and you're just like, oh man.
Those are really old.
It's nothing like what he said it is. Like it's just like they're not like catfishing per se, because they are the same person. They're just old pictures.
Right.
And they just like annoying.
Yeah.
Like it's just not always happens. I went on a date and last year sometime, and he was like, this, you know, he's a lucky kid, and I met up with him, and I was like, this guy, I was like, what the hell is this guy? And this big guy comes over and like, hey, I'm like, he must have been like 40 pounds anyway. Then he wasn't in profile, which is like, I mean, he was fine, he was just like, that was not who I thought I was meeting. Like, it was, I mean, he was a perfectly nice person, had a great time, but it was just a current picture. Like,
yeah. You need to keep updated.
Yeah, every time I just like, looking at him.
I mean, for me, I know that I know instinctually, like I can't tell from a picture, but I know that I look older, like just in the face. You know, I looked older than some of the pictures. But for me, I don't think I've changed that much in the last, I don't know, 5 years. Like style wise, maybe like, you know, haircut, beard, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I can get away with it, but like on the other hand, like if people can tell, that's its own kind of red flag, you know.
Yeah.
And like I can't afford any red flags.
Yeah, no, it's not kind of the same way. I haven't changed much since 19. Well, since 21, I haven't changed much. So I can't really use any.
I also don't have a makeup. Like I don't know. Okay, so somewhere along the way, I think it was probably like early high school. Sorry about that. I think I picked up a vibe of like, don't fuck with me. Like a kind of, like a not even necessary, or no, not that one. Like a I hate you all, maybe. Cause like this is apparently what a lot of people are getting from me. Like a lot of my sister's friends are like, does Gordon hate us?
Oh my god.
Like a lot? And I'm like, I don't think about you guys. Like some of you guys are annoying, but like for the most part, like I don't care. But like weirdly enough, like certain people just get the vibe that I'm just like not about them at all. Which, you know, it's like that's a 50-50 chance in terms of like the overall friend group. But I don't know like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
To give off that.
Very interesting. I never got that.
Yeah. I mean, we've been friends for a while.
Yeah, dude.
What was it, Midsummer Night's Dream?
Yeah.
When you guys started? Yeah, it was. That was 2010, I think, because we did Merchant Event immediately afterwards, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it went both my Midsummer Ice Cream and Merchandise.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went to those. Going on 10 years strong.
Decade. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Pretty good. I know we didn't really talk during the performance.
Yeah, it was
afterwards. Because your mom hosted like a pool party. Yeah. Which was pretty cool. And then like it was. I think I mostly talked to Ben, naturally, because we were like grouped up in a minuscule trip.
Exactly.
But no, like I remember getting there from the bus and being like, "She thinks I'm cool." Like I think she's cool. Like, all right, yes, please. And then we just needed to hang out for almost a day.
Seriously, I know. Yeah, because they were talking to me hanging out a lot.
Like, I actually had Greg on a few weeks back, and I messed up and like I record a bunch of episodes in sequence, and so I'm just like, they're only coming out once a week, and so I'm just like kind of backed up, and like, but I keep scheduling more people. I keep just going because I'm worried about but no, so I had Greg on, and we were talking about like how much or how much time we used to spend together in high school. Like we might hang out 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't unusual.
Yeah.
And like now it's difficult to get like one day out of a month where like your schedules kind of work and you're not super busy. But it was like back to like posse days. What a time. Time to be alive. Just like sleepovers and I don't know, you and Natalie would show up at work and be like, we're gonna hang out. I'm like, yeah. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, but yeah, we're gonna do some puzzles and like food, drinks, something.
Yep.
Which was like honestly like probably the highlight. I mean, because it's just like a lot of drug work, working retail. My friends came to see me. That's awesome.
Yep.
But it was one of those like that's I think that's one of the few things I miss about working retail is like you're never gonna run into viewers where I'm working.
Yeah.
But like when you work at JCPenney's, like people will just walk in, you're like, I know that person. They're like they're just like walking through and they may not even necessarily know that you're there. But it's like, oh, I see someone I recognize. Surprise! It's me. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Or like Barnes & Noble, like you work in the cafe, people come up there all the time. Like, you get the chat. So.
Yeah, it's just sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because working at the Moose, I've been, out on the floor all the time, and I chat with people that I know, and so it's kind of fun sometimes because I'm seeing a lot of girls that I used to dance with in high school.
Sure.
So every time one of them comes in, it's a lot of fun. And I'll see people from college that I like kind of know, and but then on the other hand, you get people that you know but don't like.
Sure.
And so you're just like, this is uncomfy. And like, I have to walk by them. You have to say something, or you just like pretend that they're not there. But then then you're not doing that. Just like you have to sit there and make a decision because like they're gonna see you, and they know you see them.
Yeah.
So on that hand, it's not always pleasant.
Not always.
Has to be women. Nothing we can't work with.
Or when you're going to monopolize your window for like 20 minutes.
So fun. Yeah. Oh man.
You're like, I don't really go in for ice cream much, but Melissa's working, so we're gonna go hang out.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know how that went. Good times.
Yep. I like cooking it though.
Yeah.
Mostly because I really like ice cream and I like cooking ice cream. So I miss that.
Got those muscles from scooping ice cream.
Yes, ice cream scooping muscles. Still got those arms of steel.
Solid.
Silly. Yeah.
Probably, I think it was relationship. Yeah. That's a bummer. That's just a sad topic.
Oh my god. No.
Like, do you know anybody?
Right? No.
I'm racking my brain. I'm like, anybody at all?
No, I think this week I listened to it and I met him on Friday. He was like pretty cool. We had fun. We met again yesterday. And again, it was fun. It was pretty cool. It's like,
I'm not feeling it.
I don't know. Something for myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can meet anyone for one time and be like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then it's like, what's the second time? Then you're like, okay. Then someone like you're evaluating it. And you're like, okay, is this one the third one?
Yeah.
And I'm like mulling it over all day. I don't know. Like, I don't think.
Yeah.
But that's me. I'm like, you have to go out again.
Sure.
I'm like, okay. So I'm like,
he's a dude. He's a guy.
I'm like, yeah, but you know, like, this is not really good.
It's on the one hand, it could be, just something you're gonna have to get over, like you. But on the other hand, you don't really want to lower your standards.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely like, you're not feeling it. It's just like, it's perfectly fine, but it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. It's like it's like the blind date thing, or even just like meeting someone in the wild. It's not like a natural way to go about things,
Right.
It's like, ideally, you're just hanging out and they're like, oh, like this is somebody special, like this is, wow, that's really, okay, all right, I'm gonna see where this goes,
right.
kind of vibe, but like, I don't know that, like, I've talked to a couple of people on this podcast before about, lacking a sense of community, and how that's kind of an issue in the culture. And I feel like that's part of it, because like, you used to live in a small town and like everybody knew everybody. And so, you just had time to form relationships. And like, obviously, well, options are limited. So I'm picking that one.
Yeah.
Cause, I'm a 5 and she's a 5, and like everyone else is like weirdly, off in either direction, but, got big, strong arms and, has a nice hair color. So, here we go. But like, you just had more time, and we're just always on the go, and you're meeting people, but not really getting a chance to get to know them before you add in like complications of like, am I physically attracted to them? Am I romantically attracted to them? Do we have like common goals? Like, you're doing all of this at once.
Right.
And it's kind of, like, people make it work. It's
beyond me.
Yeah.
Anyone does. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is there.
You figure it out.
Call you up, be like, I know you're in LA.
I got it.
And you're unlikely to find this sort of thing there, but figured it out. Alright, we gotta go back. Yeah. Well, that seems like a good place to end. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, it's a good time. Yeah. We'll have to see about having you on again sometime before you leave, maybe, or
Then I'll come back.
Come back for a visit.
There you go.
Excellent. All right. Have a good night, everybody.